Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
It has been a very good Friday here in the state of Grenada, and we are back again with Network News at 7. Coming up in the news tonight, body found floating off Hog Island, postmortem ordered. Roman Catholics engage in the act of washing feet at St. George's Cathedral as Bishop Clyde Harvey calls the nation back to love and servanthood. A past accountant general makes suggestions for pension payment. GUT looks to social partners and the churches to encourage government to uphold the High Court ruling on pension. Grenada to be featured on primetime series Holidaying with Jane MacDonald. Barbados to hold key talks on the reopening of schools next week. And internationally, U.S. extends transit mask mandate through May 3rd. Coming up in sports, Grandin's Hardcourt comes alive with basketball action on Easter Monday. The details when we return.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
To all of you tuning in right now, we say a special welcome to you on this blessed Good Friday holiday. Police have gone into investigative mode this evening. Just after midday today, they were called to an island just south of the mainland amid reports of the discovery of a body. This afternoon, GBN received confirmation from the police of the discovery of a 79-year-old male Caucasian of Austria who was seen floating in the sea in the proximity to Hog Island. Officers attached to the Criminal Investigation Department and the Coast Guard responded to the reports. The body was retrieved and pronounced dead by the district medical officer who ordered a post-mortem. A police report says that investigations are ongoing. It was a public holiday in Grenada and several countries around the world as people paused to reflect on the greatest sacrifice ever made on behalf of mankind. Roman Catholics and people from other religious walks of life have been holding church services to reflect on the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Here in Grenada, several churches held the traditional Good Friday Mass, which is part of a week-long service of reflection. Today's Mass following the Maundy Thursday service at the cathedral last night, which was presided over by Bishop Clive Harvey, head of the Catholic Church in Grenada. He reflected on the test of love which the Lord Jesus faced on his way to the cross.
So, the Gospel text recounts the Last Supper according to John. And we listen to the words of introduction because it is introduced by 2 verses. It was before the festival of the Passover, which links it to that first reading. And Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to pass from this world to the Father. The hour comes as he faces the test of his love. Turning water into wine is nothing. That's easy enough. But to face the crucifixion, to face betrayal, that's where your love is really tested.
Bishop Harvey noted that Christians are called to love and reminded the congregation that love is not always demonstrated through hugs and kisses.
And those of you who are married, you may well face a similar situation where the end point is not that one of us dies holding the other's hand and remembering how much we love each other. To the end may mean even more suffering and pain. And whether we are prepared to walk with that is the test. So Jesus is aware that his love is now coming to its perfection. And that perfection is not joy, that perfection is crucifixion. So he comes to the table and he washes the feet of his disciples.
The Roman Catholic bishop took his congregation back to the Last Supper, which was shared by the Lord Jesus Christ, during which he washed his disciples' feet. And during last night's service, members of the congregation participated in what he labeled as an act of servanthood.
It may be embarrassing. You may feel uncomfortable doing it. But you know what is funny about that now in our time? People have all kinds of reasons for massaging your foot. People have told me that that they know that, that the sole of your foot, all the veins and the muscles and so on in the sole of your foot, very sensitive. You can reach many other parts of the body through the feet. Some of you are smiling. I know you know what I'm talking about. So here is something that happened 2,000 years ago and calling us to recognize something else, that in washing feet, you are in fact doing something that touches the fiber of the loved one's being. So, to wash each other's feet, not as servant work, but as an act of love, and I dare say an act of communion.
In other news, one local lawyer is seeing a deterioration of Grenadians' traditions and culture as most young people are glued to their devices. He is now calling on grandparents to do something about it before it's too late. We go over to Rena Per-Thomas for this report.
Easter is celebrated by Christians as a joyous holiday because it represents the fulfillment of the prophecies of the Old Testament and the revelations of God's plan for all of mankind. In commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ, Easter also celebrates the defeat of death and the hope of salvation. It is at this time of the year that people spend time with family and loved ones, and as part of the Easter tradition, many engage in the flying of kites. However, this is one aspect that seems to be dwindling. Attorney at law Anselm Cowden shared his belief that fewer young people partake in much of our traditional activities. He said, while technology has its perks, it also has its fallouts, as it takes people away from socialization and community activities, creating an even wider generational gap.
Notice when we were growing up, you have grandparents, grandfather, uncles around and spending time with children. We've had an erosion not only of the culture, but in certain basic norms and mores of our society. When you're growing up, you pass an elder on the road, you say good morning or good afternoon. These little attributes of etiquette we have had. And I've been around long enough to say we have lost a great deal of it.
The attorney says parents and grandparents need to step up in and spend more time with the nation's youth and share their knowledge with them in order to revive what once was.
It's very unfortunate, but we have to bring it back. So those of us who are still around, I take my grandchildren flying kites. We go up in Vincennes since he was about 5-6 years old, and I take him to big drumming caracou, go fishing, involving them, take him on the farm, so that. But I see the benefit arising from more people involved doing the same. So then we move back into what was good. There was nothing bad about those times. Look at who those times produced with little.
The lawyer is encouraging families to put down the devices and use the Easter holiday to practice cultural and traditional activities, thereby bonding more with their children. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Thank you, Rena. As the debate surrounding the High Court judgment on pension for public officers rages on, a former accountant general is seeing the positives that can arise if government proceeds with pension payment for public officers. Richard Duncan has put on the table suggestions that can be implemented in moving forward.
The numbers are not yet known. My thing is that anyone who is retiring in 2022 should begin to get the pension and gratuity as per the law. Let's start there. And then you're back into the others who retired last year and the year before. You develop some criteria around which you're going to begin to pay these people.
Retired banker Richard Duncan, who also served as an accountant general for Grenada, is suggesting that government pay public officers their pension as mandated by the Constitution.
The question is, how do we generate cash flows to pay the arrears owed to pensioners? That's the question. But your debt to GDP ratio, for all intents and purposes, has already gone up. But no one has received a single cent. So my point is, generate the cash flows and start paying these people.
Speaking on GBN's Beyond the Headlines Monday night, he said there are positives that can arise from this situation. Duncan suggests the government starts looking to the local financial institutions.
The level of liquidity in the system, right, is extremely high. So high, so high that you would know that if you had a fixed deposit 12 years ago, you could have gotten 4 or 5%. Today you're getting point something of a percent, if at all. Sometimes it's 0. So I'm saying that given the liquidity in the system, the government has an opportunity. This problem has met the government at a very nice time when you take a historical view of it. And there's a chance to take a bold, transformative approach to the resolution. So
the recent repurchase of Grenlex shares also came to play as a possible solution towards making good on civil servants' pension payments.
So forth. But you also have another opportunity that when you pay these arrears out, you can, as government, at the same time, put a large chunk of your Grenlex shares on the market. The money will come back to you. You have this asset here that you say belongs to the people. And then you have where people could sit at the dinner table with their grandchildren when they receive a dividend check and explain the connection between the light that they're able to study with, the current that the computer run with, and the dividend check that they get by virtue of owning these shares. So in other words, there's an opportunity for intergenerational transfer of wealth.
Cherry and Blackburn Stephen, GBN News.
Jude Bartholomew has turned his attention to social partners, including the churches, as he continues to calls government to honor the recently handed down pension judgment. The details in this report.
Of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Jude Bartholomew, is calling on social partners and the churches to encourage government to uphold the recent High Court judgment on pension for public officers.
It is time for the churches to come out and social partners and to say to the government, enough is enough. You argue, but now the court has ruled. Constitution has been restored for pension for public officers and abide by it. So we're going to watch and we're going to test the churches and these social partners to see the metal and who these people are, and stop taking us for a ride.
Not mincing words, Bartholomew lays blame at the feet of social partners for what he alleges is their role in government's decision to dock their salary while protesting for public officers' benefits in 2018.
They are the ones who are trying to negotiate to tell unions not to do that, not to match, call off your industrial action. And instead of that, the government dock our salaries, and the social partners never came out in public and said to the government, what you did was wrong. Pay the teachers and the public officers their dock salary back. We lose pension and we lose our monies. It was docked.
With an eye on the next move, Bartholomew reminded the church that it is public officers who fill their pews.
If the church continue to not to support us and they speaking us against us, you know what would happen? Then the Grenada Union of Teachers would have to tell its members, well, stop putting collection in the church baskets. Because if we can't get pension and we can't think, where are we going to get the money to put it? And that's how we have to look at it.
Bartholomew shared his hurt as he watched his colleagues struggle to upkeep their medical needs after retirement, but not yet at the age to qualify for old age benefits from the National Insurance Scheme.
And Marie Forsyth died. That's the first time tears came out in my eyes, like a little child in the funeral. She did everything right. She made more than 26 and 2/3 years together with many other teachers and public officers, and she died in poverty. She couldn't pay for her medical bills, and nobody didn't have the conscience and the sympathy from the government or the Ministry of Education to say, this person, that teacher, work hard, she make her years, let's help her. They didn't even put on poor relief.
He said there are other teachers and public officers who are forced to beg to survive. Bartholomew reminds the churches in particular that it is teachers and other public officers that go to church, teachers of First Communion and Confirmation, building schools, and in church, putting their little money in the collection basket. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
A census can be considered an official count or survey of a population, typically recording various details of individuals. Officials of the Census Advisory Committee say it is necessary for Grenadians to understand the importance of the activity.
A national census gives government an idea of who the populace is and where it is headed. It helps communities determine where to build everything from schools to supermarkets and homes to hospitals. It also helps the government decide how to distribute funds and assistance. Every 10 years, the country is expected to conduct a population census. The current census started last November but was put on hold in December due to COVID-19 before it resumed in January. Kerry Pear, acting head of the Debt Management Unit in the Ministry of Finance and chairman of the Census Advisory Committee, says it is necessary for everyone to understand the importance of the census.
It's essential that we understand how important this census is. Based on the law, on the Statistics Act of 1960, the Central Statistics Organization, the CSO, is the agent responsible for overseeing the census and ensuring that a census is done. This is done every 10 years. Now, 10 years is a lot of time, and from one census period to another, so many things can change. And I started out by saying that the census is the single most important data gathering tool that we use, especially as it relates to the housing and the population stock.
Pierre says one of the benefits of the census is that it can be used as a social indicator.
There's so much more, that information can provide. Even for example, social indicators. You can determine straight off the bat. If there are plenty single mother households in that particular area, that can signal to the government, look, we need to do something. We need to target the women in that particular area. We need to see if we can provide, jobs, and so so information is the basis for decision making.
The last census was held in Grenada in 2011.
NDC caretaker Ron Redhead makes promises to the youth. This and more when we come back.
The most anticipated kids event is happening on Saturday, 16th April, Easter Saturday.
Easter Kids Extravaganza.
The Easter Kids Extravaganza. Monroe's Playing Field, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Easter Saturday, rides and slides.
Obstacle courses, rock climb, bouncy castles, and much, much more. Then from 6 p.m., we move stateside for special performances from IMG Fuego, the Magico Circus from Cuba, alongside Fawn, Looney's Park, and Electrify. Admission kids, $5. Adults, $10. Parents, guardians, get the kids ready. Easter Saturday, Monroe's Playing Field. Something not to be missed.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think of Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Physical violence, threats, controlling behavior, and being disrespectful are no-nos in any relationship. Parenting together after a breakup can be difficult, but always speak and behave in ways you would want your children to speak and act. You cannot control what your ex-partner does, but you can control how you choose to respond to your ex and what behaviors you display to your children. Parents, display behaviors you will want your children to learn. A respectful child begins with you. Step up your parenting game. My family matters.
Monday, May 2nd, the holiday. Mangazo takes opulence to a different level as we invite you to our food festival. 11 in the morning until delicious, sumptuous, and visually appealing food, vegan food, seafood, oil down, cakes and pastries, wild meat, curry, sauce, and lots more. And look out for cultural performances, steel pan, and more. For more info, call 538-0358 or 405-GAZO. That's 4296. Monday, May 2nd, the holiday. Mangazo Food Festival. Sponsored by Independence Agencies Limited. Agent Force Swiss. It's better because of Swiss.
During these times, we are facing the same obstacles, changes, and no rules to get through it. We had to find the power from within, pushing limits and conquering every training session to ignite our minds and give our muscles the fuel they need. Powerade Advanced Iron 4 formula with its flavors, Mountain Blast, Fruit Punch, and Jagged Ice gives you fast hydration after sweating because of its 4 electrolytes to go the extra mile. Powerade, feel the power.
Here is a little known fact. There is only one place in Grenada that you can get an MRI scan done. That place is Spice Isle Imaging Center. Yes, Grenada, that's the truth. Other centers could offer you other scans, but Spice Isle Imaging provides an authentic MRI scan. Here's another little known fact. Spice Isle Imaging has 3 centers. We operate at Grenville, the Carnage, and at the Ocean House, Grand Anse. We provide the widest range of laboratory tests and services. CT scans, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, and a host of other services. We are fully staffed by a team of family doctors and specialists. Call us today at 444-7679 or 406-1500 or visit any of our 3 locations. Spice Cell Imaging, from seeing the doctor to getting lab tests, scans, and pharmacy services. We are here to take care of you.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. With news in the political realm, former Senator Ron Redhead, who will contest the upcoming general elections on the National Democratic Congress ticket for St. George, Northeast, is driving home the important role for the nation's youth play in development of Grenada. This political dispatch comes from Sherian.
Once that bell is rung, and we are in the seat of government, we are going to transform the country with youth development 120%.
Ron Redhead served in the Senate as a representative for the National Democratic Congress Party following the 2018 general election, in which the new National Party won all 15 seats. He was one of 3 individuals appointed by Governor General Dame Cecilia Grenade. His tenure in the Senate ended after parliamentary representative for St. George Northeast, Tobias Clement, resigned on November 20, 2019, and crossed the floor to become the opposition leader in April of 2020. Now, as preparation for the upcoming general elections, constitutionally due in 2023 picks up speed, Redhead is the elected NDC caretaker to contest the elections for the St. George Northeast constituency, and he has laid out some of the plans an NDC elected government will focus on. Youth takes center stage.
We will tackle the issue of youth unemployment and underemployment. Together, we will introduce concepts, most importantly, that will introduce the whole aspect of curbing that question of the dependency syndrome in our country. Grenada is a good country. Grenada has the potential to build itself, but we need the right leaders to be elected in order to do so.
Redhead promises a government that will end the dependency syndrome by providing opportunities for the nation's people with emphasis on the youth.
We will improve access to education in terms of lowering the cost for education and tackling in a serious way improving and upgrading the structure of our education system in the country. We need to do that because too many of our young people are being denied the right to educate themselves, and this is crippling our country by increasing the question of childhood poverty, and we need to stamp that out once and for all.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Grenada will be featured for the first time on primetime TV as part of a popular vacation series with Jane McDonald. Rena Pear Thomas has more.
Holidaying with Jane McDonald, The Caribbean on Primetime is a series that shows virtual vacation planner Jane island hopping through some of the Caribbean's most blissful islands. The series consists of 4 episodes, each for 1 hour, while highlighting a Caribbean country and all it has to offer visitors. The show started on Sunday the 27th of March, and Grenada for the first time will be featured on Primetime TV this Sunday at 9 p.m. CEO of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Deputy Petra Roach says GTA dedicated itself to ensuring that Grenada was among the 4 Caribbean countries to be part of the series and was excited when news came that the island was selected.
So we actually went through a very arduous task of saying why Grenada, because the producers decided that they were going to choose 4 Caribbean islands. And we put together a presentation. We talked about all of our assets, the natural assets that we've got here. We've got 4 pillars of growth that we particularly focused on. And you will see that today, which were diving, which was soft adventure, which was the culinary story of Grenada, and also the story of chocolate from tree to bar.
Eager to share the good news, Minister for Tourism Clarice Modeste-Cohen says the episode will expose the island's treasures to more visitors around the world and encourage more travelers to visit Grenada.
So it's good for us for the short term, but it's also good for us for the long-term prosperity of our destination. We believe that the days of simply promoting our island and waiting for the tourists to visit, these are long gone, and therefore we have to be proactive. This episode has already been viewed by over 2 million people globally, and we expect the numbers to grow. This will give us the opportunity to put our stamp on the consciousness of all who view it and strengthen our destination image worldwide. I look forward to maximizing future opportunities to display all Grenada has to offer.
Barbados, St. Lucia, and Antigua are the remaining 3 islands featured on the show. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Beverly Telesford has been looking around the platforms.
GBN Social Buzz is reaching beyond the local platform to share with you what's trending on social media. We browse the World Wide Web and bring to you the topics inciting the most reaction and debate among users. Thursday morning's To The Point program featured officers of the Coast Guard Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force. They were there to keep the public up to date with the general safety at sea.
You say now, the Easter weekend, this weekend up to Monday, is a time of pleasure and so forth. But what we are saying is that once you're on the beach is no respecter of persons, but at least there are safety measures and so forth that you need to know. First of all, children on the beach, parents, they must supervise the children. They must be send somebody who is responsible. Somebody responsible to take care of the children, because at any moment what could happen, and children already, they don't think like the adults. You understand?
Our viewers took to the comments to share their opinions on the Coast Guard and safety at sea, especially during the Easter weekend. B said, "Thanks, very informative. Hopefully we have heard and will follow accordingly. Stay safe." Alistair added, "With today's technology, Coast Guard should make it mandatory to have a registered transponder for each boat registered to the Coast Guard. Your position will be easily monitored by authorities." Warwood said, "We need to rid our Coast Guard of the stigma of only drug chasers. Get a decent Coast Guard system and boat and equipments." That's what's buzzing tonight. We encourage you, our viewers and listeners, to submit your think pieces on trending topics locally, regionally, and internationally via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media.
Thank you, Beverly. Tonight's ISA compilation shares the unfortunate predicament of a truck driver. Let's take a peek through our lens to see more.
A good eye catches all. GBN ISA is brought to you by Clear Vision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. Clear Vision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Clear Vision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
truck driver in tonight's ISAW found himself in quite the predicament. Our citizen journalist captured this photograph of a Mack truck stuck on the Madeas Bridge in St. Patrick. So many unanswered questions. How would you get out of this pickle? Tell us while you submit your photos and videos via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Up next, we take a look at some sporting highlights, and as always, we probe around the globe. Stay with us.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Angie, don't you know that you should not fly kites near electrical poles and wires? You should only fly it in open areas. If the kite gets stuck, it can cause power outages throughout the village.
Then I'll just pull it down, Johnny. Simple?
No, you shouldn't do that. You can get shocked. You should call Grenlec at 237 and they will come and help.
Alright.
Never fly kites near the power lines. If a kite ever gets tangled, do not attempt to remove it on your own. A message from Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Your vehicle insurance should never break your bank. With Beacon, you can get up to 35% off your fully comprehensive car insurance and still get full protection from unexpected damages with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. When it comes to your insurance, always be sure you settle for more. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and get a quote today.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now. We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
From 6 p.m. into Easter Monday. Join us live on Facebook and YouTube. Get ready as we proclaim the unchanging Word of God. Save the date and see you there.
Introducing Color by Seasons. Color by Seasons. Color by Seasons.
price for your mobile when you can pay half. Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pockets every month. Plus now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
Thanks for joining our sports roundup. This Easter Monday, Grandin's Court will be the place to be for the Big 4 3 vs 3 basketball knockout tournament. The competition will see 10 local teams going head-to-head for the top prizes from 4 to 11 p.m. on Monday. There is a $200 entry fee. The teams will be playing for a grand prize of $1,200, while the first runner-up and the second runner-up will receive $700 and $500 respectively. Allyson Felix, who closed the Tokyo Games last year with more Olympic medals than any U.S. track and field athlete in history, says she will retire after the 2022 season. At the age of 35, Felix won a bronze medal in the 400 meters last summer in Tokyo, then followed it up with a gold medal in the 4x400 relay. Those were her 10th and 11th Olympic medals, which helped her pass Carl Lewis in the U.S. record book and left her behind only one runner in history, Finland's Paavo Nurmi, who won 12 medals between 1920 and 1928. Her last major meets will be the U.S. Championships from June 23rd to 26th, then the World Championships, which takes place in Eugene, Oregon from July 15th to 24th. In November 2018, she gave birth to her daughter, Cameron, by emergency cesarean at 32 weeks, and less than a year later, she became the most successful athlete in World Championships history when she took 2 relay golds in Doha. Felix also has a record 13 gold medals and 18 overall from World Championships. That's a wrap for our sports. Up next, we take a look at global matters. Let's probe around the globe. Education officials in Barbados are scheduled to meet next week to hold discussions about the reopening of schools following a spate of COVID-19 cases on the island.
Officials from the Ministries of Education and Health will meet next week to decide whether the spike in COVID-19 cases on the island will have any impact on the start of the new school term. Word of this from Education Minister Kay McConney, who says it's too early to speak to any possible delay.
We are currently getting the data. We had some of the data from what happened during the face-to-face school. We are now looking at the environment as it is now, and we will get back to the media next week. The Chief Chief and I, we were just talking about in the PS. We will get back to the media next week and give you a full report as it relates to what the experience was during the term we've just concluded and what are our plans going forward. Of course, as we see the numbers go, we have to consult with our partners, the Ministry of Health. We have to also consult with our other partners in education as well as we seek to decide what next and what best. But I think what we also have to remember is we are now in a situation where we have to learn to live with COVID. And now we have to figure out how to live with it safely, responsibly, and in a way that will ensure that we keep as many people alive, but at the same time, we balance that with our objectives as it relates to education.
Moving further afield, Ukrainian forces are claiming they damaged the flagship of the Russian fleet in the Black Sea. But Russia tells a different story, saying it was an onboard fire that detonated ammunition, damaging the ship early yesterday. The details in this report.
In our Sunrise Live, today marks 50 days since Russia started their invasion in Ukraine. Now take a look at this. Ukrainian forces, they're clearing artillery left after Russian forces retreated. They're also preparing for a massive $800 million military aid package being delivered from the United States. Now this package includes artillery, helicopters, and armored personnel carriers. The pledge for more equipment comes as Russian forces amass in eastern Ukraine, targeting cities like Mariupol. The mayor there claims tens of thousands of civilians have been killed since Russia invaded. This morning, Ukraine is reopening humanitarian corridors there and in 8 other places after shutting them down due to Russian violations. Also new this morning, in the Black Sea, Ukraine is claiming they damaged the flagship of the Russian Black Sea fleet with 2 missile strikes. Russia, though, they're telling a different story, saying it was a fire on board that detonated ammunition, damaging the ship. Neither report can be verified at the moment since there's no evidence. And this is all happening as Russia is laying out new sanctions for 398 members of the U.S. Congress. Moscow says more countermeasures are being planned.
U.S. health officials extended by 15 days a U.S. mandate requiring travelers to wear masks on airplanes, trains, and in transit hubs, saying they needed time to assess the impact of a recent rise in COVID cases. We get more from Reuters.
The Biden administration extended a U.S. mandate requiring travelers to wear masks on airplanes, trains, and in transit hubs by 15 days. The move comes amid a recent uptick in COVID-19 cases and would keep the requirements in place through May 3rd. Citing the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the order was needed to monitor the recent rise of cases and the spread of the COVID-19 subvariant BA2, making up 85% of U.S. cases.
What they're looking at is that since early April, there's been increases in the 7-day moving average of the cases in the United States. So what they're trying to do is give a little bit more time to assess its potential impact, the rise of the cases have on severe disease, including hospitalizations and deaths, and the healthcare system capacity.
Industry groups and Republican lawmakers want the administration to immediately end the 14-month-old mask mandate, while Airlines for America, a trade group, on Wednesday in a letter urged Biden's administration to lean into science and research, which clearly support lifting the mask mandate. Last month, the U.S. Senate voted 57-40 to overturn the public health order requiring masks on airplanes and other forms of public transportation, drawing a veto threat from Biden.
And that's it for tonight's Probe. A recap of the main points is next. Body found floating off Hog Island, post-mortem ordered. Roman Catholics engage in the act of washing feet at St. George's Cathedral as Bishop Clyde Harvey calls the nation back to love and servanthood. A past accountant general makes suggestions for pension payment. GUT looks to social partners and the churches to encourage government to uphold the High Court ruling on pension. Grenada to be featured on primetime series Holidaying with Jane MacDonald. Regionally, Barbados to hold key talks on the reopening of schools next week. And internationally, U.S. extends transit mask mandates through May 3rd. In sports, Grandin's Hardcourt comes alive with basketball action on Easter Monday. Those were the major headlines. You can visit our Facebook page, our website at gbn.gd, and our YouTube channel at Grenada Broadcasting Network or GBN Production for the latest news. Team GBN wishes you a wonderful Easter weekend.